Despite his short career, Juice WRLD remains one of hip-hop's most popular and relevant artists. He has a fan base with insane loyalty and the respect of legends in hip-hop. There are many reasons for why Juice WRLD still has this audience. However, lost in his greatness, we often forget a generation of hip-hop that Juice WRLD was supposed to usher in.
I turn the news on when I smell death in the air.
Born in December 2nd, 1998, Gerard Higgins, better known as Juice WRLD, was born. He began his rap career back in 2015, and although his early work isn't as good or as polished as his later work that would define his career, if you look close enough, you'll see signs of what eventually made Juice a star. For the following years, Juice would work mainly on the underground scene, releasing songs onto SoundCloud and building a little bit of hype. However, the beginning point for Juice's insane run can easily be tracked back to 2018, more specifically with the rise of All Girls Are the Same. Although released late into 2017, the song would gain massive traction in the early stages of the new year, especially after getting the Cole Bennett co-sign on the music video. Although lyrically you can argue that the song isn't special, it's in its sound where the song really shines, especially as it relates to Juice WRLD that laid a blueprint for what his songs were going to sound like. So if you were a new fan, it was a great entry point. The sound was the same as the Kid Cudi and Kanye type of sound from the late 2000s, but it was modernized with a more trap beat type of influence. The growth of this song was enough for Juice WRLD to get signed. However, for me, the song that pushed Juice WRLD into the mainstream circle was Lucid Dreams.
I still see your shadows in my room.
Lucid Dreams would peak at number 2 on Billboard's Hot 100, surpassing the success of All Girls Are the Same.
I'm listening to my heart instead of my head.
Personally, this was my entry point to Juice WRLD. When this released, I think everybody in my school knew the song, and it just kind of took over the halls of my high school. Although for me it wasn't about the lyrics necessarily, for many it was.
I take prescriptions to make me feel late.
Lyrically, Juice WRLD was more focused on the love side of things. However, Juice WRLD puts it in a way where a 23-year-old could relate to it, a high schooler could relate to it, and even someone who doesn't know what that feels like could imagine what it feels like. In fact, Juice WRLD kind of talks about this effect when talking about Kanye.
Having to be just like moment passing. This is my shit, bro. That came out when I was like 7, 8 years old. And I was singing that shit. I was singing Streetlights really sad. Like I had some shit to be sad about.
It was under that principle that Juice WRLD stood out to most rappers of the new SoundCloud generation. Although a lot of them also tackled feelings of sadness and heartbreak, Juice had an ability to make it simple, something that most others wouldn't really have. Further expanding on the idea though, he would release his debut record, Goodbye and Good Riddance.
Pop with me, get high with me.
The album is 47 minutes, but it feels much more shorter than that thanks to the amount of hits that it has.
Bank account, look at the cash amount.
To be honest, I don't know if I have a skewed view of how big these songs are, but I feel like they were pretty big. Even if it's not reflected on Billboard or on the charts, to me, these feel like songs that I heard all the time back in 2018.
He's finna hurt me.
One of the things that I did forget about this record was how much it was pushing emo rap further into the mainstream. In a way that no rapper was really doing it. Well, no rapper except for one. XXXTentacion came into hip-hop a little earlier than Juice did, and he broke in a very different way. Because Juice WRLD was a great example of what emo rap was becoming to the mainstream hip-hop scene, whereas X, he broke in with a song talking about keeping his dick in his pants. Can't keep my dick in my pants. Still though, regardless of how crazy the difference was in their come up, X and Juice still carried a lot of the same audience. Mainly because people realized that X was much deeper than the can't keep my dick in my pants guy. He was able to tackle serious topics as well as the unserious. And it was looking like Etz was gonna be the person that would carry on this new generation, this new wave of rappers back in 2016. However, as you probably know, Etz would pass away back in June of 2018. His passing affected many within and outside of hip hop, and Juice WRLD was one of those people that were affected. Juice WRLD released the track Legends as a tribute to Etz and Lil Peep. The song's lyrics reflected a lot of the stuff that hip-hop fans were thinking at the time, as more and more rappers passed away at an early age. Over the summer of 2018, Juice's popularity kept rising, scoring big features alongside Travis Scott, as well as meeting and releasing a mixtape alongside Future. Although most fans walked away from the tape with mixed feelings at best, what happened outside of the music is what grabbed a lot of fans' attention. The conversation where Future apologized to Juice after learning that he was the reason why Juice WRLD wanted to try lean and why he eventually did it. For Future, it was a realization of the impact that his songs can have, the influence that artists have, the same influence that Juice WRLD was carrying, and one that he would continue to carry into 2019 with the success of Death Race for Love. Although I wouldn't say it's bigger than the debut record, songs like Robbery and Bandit definitely had a presence on the charts. It still has the same spirit that the first one did, but it also expanded on who Juice WRLD could be as a rapper, because in this album we actually get to see him rap. And to be clear, I mean rapping in the traditional sense, and I mean, I guess we had seen it before on freestyles and such, but never on an official release. And all in all, Death Race for Love should have been one of many Juice WRLD albums, but unfortunately we live in the universe where that didn't happen. This was the last album released while Juice was still alive, as in December of 2019, Juice WRLD would pass away at the age of 21. People tend to look at the why of his passing when talking about it. They go back to the Future conversation, they draw comparisons to the passing of Etz, the songs that could have been his cry for help, and sometimes people wonder if they could have done anything to stop it. Like every other time someone passes away, the impact goes beyond the people he may have impacted directly. For Juice WRLD, his passing represented the end of a generation that we lost. A generation of rappers that were supposed to carry on the genre into a new decade. I like to call this the lost generation of hip-hop. Whether it be Etz or Juice WRLD, the what-if scenarios of music we lost will be extensive and probably live on forever. But what we still have from these artists that have moved on is the influence that they had on those who were fans, an influence that will also live on forever. Anyways, I realized there's a lot of things that I didn't mention as it relates to Juice WRLD. I just personally thought that it wasn't necessary for this video. But with that being said, you know, shout out to me. Shout out to somebody out there. I don't know. Maybe it's you. Maybe it isn't. And shout out to Jay Dilla. Yeah.